My best friend Claire constantly uses me to test her boyfriend's loyalty. She would send him flirtatious messages from my phone, order provocative gifts in my name, and then sit back, relishing the moment he rejected me to prove his devotion to her. Tonight was no different. Claire had invited me to dinner, and I found myself awkwardly seated as Julian, her boyfriend, served me while she watched, that familiar sly grin curling her lips. I froze until a series of comments flickered across my vision. Here we go again. The rich heroine dragging her poor friend into her schemes. She even sabotaged her scholarship and helped her just to have her nearby. Sienna, just play along. Let's see who gets the last laugh. It hit me slowly, the weight of what I just read. All those years ago, the anonymous tip that had cost me my scholarship, it had come from Clare. I had spent years feeling grateful, believing she had my back. When I was desperate, she had paid for my tuition. I thought of her as my truest ally. Even after I repaid every cent, I continued bending over backward to honor her kindness. No matter how ridiculous her tests of Julian were, I endured the condescending looks, the humiliating remarks, the ridiculous messages she made me send. I kept reminding myself he loved her, that they were childhood sweethearts, that none of it was my fault. But Claire could never just trust. She needed him to reject me coldly to feel reassured. Tonight, I had thought her dinner invitation was a birthday surprise. Instead, it was another twisted little experiment, and I was the unwilling participant. Claire's eyes sparkled with a flicker of triumph as she noticed my stunned silence. Go on, Sienna. Have some. Julian already served it, she said, her voice almost casual. I don't mind at all. Her words said one thing, but her gaze stayed fixed on my chopsticks, anxious I might actually take a bite. Comments continued scrolling in my vision. Look at her pretending. She wants it so badly and our girl's smiling through it. Sienna, don't just sit there. Fight back. Stop being her pawn. Eat it. Show her you're not a doormat. I glanced at Claire's doll-like face, then remembered all the ways she manipulated me. The stolen scholarship. The constant mind games. My fingers tightened around my chopsticks. She loves testing Julian's loyalty. She loves watching me squirm. Fine. I would give her a taste of her own medicine. I picked up the asparagus he had placed on my plate, feigning surprise. Oh my gosh, Julian. How did you know asparagus is my favorite? You must have mentioned it. You're amazing, Claire. Then I turned to him with a bright, convincing smile. Well, I guess I shouldn't be shy. Thank you, Julian. The change was immediate. Claire's smile froze. I had invented the asparagus story on the spot, but she bought it completely, convinced he had ordered it just for me. Her fingers dug into his shoulder, knuckles white. I took my bite deliberately and tilted my head, finding concern. Are you okay, Claire? You look a little pale. Want me to get you some water? Her expression twisted through emotions she could not voice. Rage, frustration, helplessness, all masked under a forced, polite smile. No, I'm fine, Sienna. Really? If you like it, have more, she said, her voice tight. I just had my hands full earlier. Julian is always so thoughtful, looking after his friends and me. Don't get the wrong idea. The ghostly comments in my mind seemed to groan in exasperation. Don't get the wrong idea. Yes. Finally, Sienna standing up for herself. That little princess won't know what hit her. Look, Julian's expression is changing. He used to see her hesitation as manipulation, but now I glanced at Julian. For years, his expression toward me had been a mask of icy judgment. After every one of Claire's tests, he would flash her a weary smile, then turn to me with an unmistakable warning. Sienna, whatever your goal is, I suggest you stop. Claire is sensitive. You should know your place. His words had always stung, branding me a social climber. I had swallowed my pride countless times, even sacrificing opportunities because of his prejudice. But now, seeing Claire's silent fury, I realized there was nothing wrong with taking a moment to reclaim a little dignity, right? I offered a gentle smile, the kind that hid my sharp intent, ready to pierce Claire's carefully constructed mask of innocence. Of course not, Claire. Why would I think otherwise? I know Julian respects boundaries. Maybe it's you overthinking everything. Claire froze as if she'd swallowed a fly. Julian, finally catching on, realized that her casual request for him to serve me was just another one of her endless games. Already exhausted from a demanding new project, he had carved out precious time for dinner, and now it was being wasted on yet another loyalty test. He slammed his palm on the table, voice low and dangerous. Enough, Claire. How many times are we going to do this? When does this charade end? He rarely showed this kind of anger, especially in public. Claire's confident composure faltered. She clutched his arm, panic creeping into her voice. Julian, it's not like that. Adjust my manicure. I couldn't serve her myself. I thought you're my boyfriend and she's my best friend. I didn't think either of you would mind. Right. That manicure must be so fragile. Calling Sienna your best friend. You couldn't even remember her birthday. This so-called best friend sabotaged her scholarship, spread rumors, and ruined her life just to make herself look good. Sienna, take him. Let's see how the princess handles that. Normally, I hate pitting women against each other, but in this case, go for it. Use this chance to advance. She's toxic, and you deserve it. I turned my attention back to the tense couple. I had lit the fuse. Mistrust was already settling in, and a full-blown argument seemed inevitable. My work here was done. It was my birthday, and I wasn't about to let her ruin it. I grabbed my bag and stood, my voice dripping with faux regret. I'm so sorry to leave so soon, but my colleagues are throwing me a small birthday gathering. You two enjoy your evening. Claire's eyes widened and she grabbed my arm, pretending to apologize. She hadn't forgotten my birthday. Someone like her never remembered anything that didn't center on herself. I gently freed my arm. It's okay. No one ever remembers my birthday anyway. My colleagues insisted on this little celebration. You two enjoy your evening. My passive-aggressive performance left her frozen, her face pale. Julian's brow furrowed, his grip on his glass tightening. I knew a man like him, raised with etiquette and propriety, would feel a pang of guilt. Perfect. Outside, I called a few colleagues and invited them for drinks at a nearby bar. We were midway through our celebration when a familiar figure appeared. I had known he would come. He always did. He would pay the tab, offer apologies for the earlier chaos, and somehow smooth over the tension. My colleagues looked shocked. Mr. Thorne, what are you doing here? Julian approached casually, the epitome of composure. I happened to be nearby and saw you all. Just wanted to say hello. His gaze swept to the small birthday cake. Is it someone's birthday tonight? Enjoy yourselves. Put everything on me. Cheers erupted around the table. After he left, my inner commentary, those imagined voices, went wild. Elmo, the princess can't even. Massive fighting coming. She asked him to serve Sienna, then yelled at him for it. What next? Feeding her by hand. Rich boys always have a soft spot for the underdog. He only dislikes Sienna because of her games. Now he feels bad for her. He's a career asset. Don't let morality stop you from climbing. I lingered in the shadows, smiling quietly. After the celebration, the last colleagues had caught their rides. I was about to hail a cab when a familiar sports car pulled up. The window rolled down to reveal Julian. It's late and cabs are scarce. I'll give you a ride. I stepped back, creating distance. No thank you. Given everything, it could be misinterpreted. He didn't flinch. There's nothing to misinterpret. Get in. I can't stay here forever. A car honked behind us. I slid in carefully, reaching for the seatbelt, then hesitated. Oh sorry. This must be Claire's favorite seat. Could you pull up ahead? I should sit in the back. Classic Sienna, fueling the fire. Julian ignored me, expression unreadable. It's a seat, that's all. The ride was silent. At my building, I opened the door, but he called my name. Claire was out of line tonight. I apologize. Apologies from him were rare. It's fine, I said lightly. She's insecure, which is why she's always testing you. I understand. He didn't respond, then handed me a small, elegant box. Happy birthday. Consider this compensation for the evening. If you don't want it, discard it. Before I could react, the car sped off. Don't throw it. It's worth a fortune. The earrings are perfect. Put them on. Inside the box, nestled in velvet, was a pair of sparkling diamond earrings. Real diamonds. I slid off my old earring and replaced it with the new ones, savoring the brilliance under the streetlights. The next morning, my phone looked like a battlefield. It had nearly rattled itself off the nightstand from Claire's nonstop calls. When I checked my messages, the counter read 99 plus, all from her. Not a single one contained an apology. Every text was an interrogation, thinly disguised as concern, each one trying to confirm a single thing, whether Julian had spent the night with me. He clearly had not gone back to plate her after dropping me off. That realization must have sent her spiraling. Where are you right now? Send me your location. I'm coming over. Why won't you answer? I'm worried. Please text me back. I couldn't sleep all night thinking about you. Are you ignoring me on purpose? I know you're awake. I scrolled through the barrage calmly, a faint smile forming, then locked my phone and headed for the shower. Knowing Claire, she had spent the entire night wide awake, imagination running wild, picturing scenes that existed only in her head. I could almost see her pacing, biting her lip, rage and panic twisting her features. If she was going to obsess over me anyway, I might as well give her a real reason. Let her experience the kind of anxiety she enjoyed inflicting on others. After breakfast, I reviewed my presentation one last time. I had stayed up most of the night perfecting it. According to the comments drifting across my vision, Claire was currently cornering Julian, making sure he would not make it to the office, which meant this was my opening. The meeting today was with one of the biggest players in the industry, a company I had dreamed of working with since my first year. A project of this scale was never meant for someone at my level. It was being personally overseen by Julian, the heir sent down from headquarters. I had done everything possible to get involved. I gathered research, analyzed data, built projections. Julian had reviewed my initial proposal and even promised to let me join the team as an observer. Then, without explanation, he shut me out completely. Now I finally understood why. She doesn't know this yet, but the princess sabotaged her again. She panicked about Sienna working closely with Julian, so she mailed lingerie to his apartment using Sienna's address. School, career, reputation. She's been undermining her at every stage. And now she's about to destroy herself. She's blocking him from leaving, demanding he'd choose her over the meeting. Update. She just smashed his laptop during her meltdown. The presentation files are gone. He's not going anywhere. Sienna, this is it. Everything you prepared was for this exact moment. I closed my laptop, picked it up, and headed straight for the office. The second I stepped inside, chaos hit me head on. Has anyone reached Mr. Thorne yet? The partners are already here. His phone's off. Alex went to his apartment. Can anyone else present? They've been waiting 15 minutes. Julian's team stood frozen, faces pale. He handles strategy himself. We only execute. We can't present this. Julian may have grown up privileged, but his competence was real. He micromanaged the critical parts himself, and his team had grown used to relying on him entirely. Without him, they were helpless. If this deal collapses, he'll be fine, someone muttered. We're the ones getting fired. Their CEO looks furious. Mr. Reynolds looks like he's about to lose it. I took in the scene and spoke calmly. I've researched their company extensively. I have a complete proposal. Let me handle the meeting. Silence fell. Her? She's not even on the project team, but she's sharp. I heard she prepped more material than anyone else. We don't have another option. The same people who usually kept an eye on me for Claire were now ushering me toward the conference room. Desperation written all over their faces. I knocked once and stepped inside. Mr. Reynolds blinked in surprise. The partner CEO studied me with interest. I smiled evenly. I'm Sienna. I've been working closely with Mr. Thorne on this project. Unfortunately, he was taken ill this morning. I'll be presenting today to ensure continuity and demonstrate our commitment. I connected my laptop and began. Julian chose the company. For someone born into a corporate dynasty, the decision was obvious. By the time he arrived, the meeting was already wrapping up. I stood at the front of the room, answering final questions with measured confidence. He paused at the door, clearly startled to see the partners engaged, nodding along to my explanations. To his credit, Julian recovered quickly. He gave me a brief nod and took a seat beside the partner CEO, listening in silence. At first, skepticism crossed his face. Then slowly, his expression sharpened with focus. The partner CEO broke into a broad smile. Julian, glad you're upright again. You've got your father's eye for talent. This proposal is solid. And your colleague here, she's exceptional. Didn't give us an inch on the margins. She even caught a flaw in our projections my team has been chasing for weeks. I met Julian's gaze and offered a professional smile. My proposal wasn't radically different from his, but I had found a weakness in their numbers he had overlooked. I turned it into leverage, and it sealed the deal. Julian's eyes narrowed slightly before he smiled smoothly at the CEO. Thank you, Mark. Just a minor illness. I asked a team member to step in. I was concerned it might be overwhelming for her, but clearly I misjudged. The CEO laughed, clapping him on the shoulder, saying it might be time to trust younger talent more often. Mr. Reynolds, who had nearly collapsed earlier, was now radiant. Sensing opportunity, he acted instantly. This partnership has always been our highest priority, he announced. Our team worked tirelessly to ensure success, especially Director Sienna here. She pulled multiple all-nighters to perfect this presentation. You won't find a more committed partner than us. Just like that, I was promoted. Julian did not object. He simply watched me. The old suspicion gone, replaced by something quieter, more sincere. The comments erupted. He finally gets it. He really thought she was chasing him. Typical ego. Sienna was incredible. That confidence, that clarity. Headquarters is next. Emergency update. The princess found the earring in his car. She's on her way to the office with reinforcements. I read the last line and smiled. She was coming. And this time, I was ready to take everything she valued most. With the deal finalized, Julian scheduled a celebratory lunch with our new partners. As I stepped out of the conference room, my colleagues erupted in cheers, relief and admiration flooding their faces. Their year-end bonuses were secure, and I was suddenly a hero in their eyes. Sienna, you've been hiding your talent. From now on, you're my role model. I owe you my career. I honestly thought today was the end for all of us. You saved the company. Reynolds says, you're basically being promoted to VP. I smiled modestly. It was just luck. If Mr. Thorne had been here, he'd have handled it even better. Just mentioning Julian sent a ripple through the crowd. Whispers began. His girlfriend thought he was cheating, locked him in, and smashed his laptop. Groans echoed. Today of all days, if Sienna hadn't been here, we'd be out of jobs. Typical princess doesn't care about anyone else's life. And then as if on cue, Clare appeared. She strode in live streaming, her followers trailing like a small, judgmental mob. Over the years, she had amassed 100,000 fans flaunting her lifestyle. And now she was weaponizing them against me. Her fists clenched, jaw tight, eyes blazing with fury. Elmeo, she's hearing everything. System overload imminent. Throw a bigger tantrum. A full-blown meltdown is coming. Sienna, show her the earrings. This is it. Her gaze locked on me. The diamonds glittering at my ears caught her attention. And a cruel, calculated smile spread across her face. Claire stormed forward, righteous fury radiating from her every movement. She swung. The slap echoed through the office, stunning everyone into silence. See, she hissed. I knew it was you seducing my boyfriend. After everything I've done for you, you backstabbing. Have you no shame? My colleagues froze, unsure how to react. Julian, already furious from the morning chaos, strode across the room in 3 long steps and grabbed Claire's arm just as she raised it to strike again. He had been patient, but this public display pushed him past the limit. In a calm, dangerous voice he said, Claire, there is a time and a place. Your tantrums are one thing, but this is out of line. If you want to vent, vent at me, not others. Apologize now and stop this. Whispers spread like wildfire. Why is she making a scene at the office? She almost ruined the deal this morning. What about her bonuses? Claire gaped, confronted not only by Julian, but by colleagues who had once fawned over her. Her jealousy intensified. She started pounding her fists against his chest. I'm not insane. Why are you defending her? This is why you chose the company over me. Because she was here. Julian's brow furrowed, restraining her with one hand. Claire, you called her your best friend. What are you doing? Could your mind get any dirtier? Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. I pressed my hand to my cheek, voice trembling. Claire, what's this about? You're always jumping to conclusions. There must be some misunderstanding. Seeing us stand united. She lost control completely, screaming about imagined betrayals. Sienna, admit it. Were you with him last night, sleeping with your best friend's man? My colleagues, protective and furious, began defending me. Miss Dubosi, you can't throw accusations without proof. Sienna was at home all night working on her presentation. I live across the hall. My shower broke, so I used hers. She showed screenshots of my late-night work on social media. The evidence was undeniable. Claire staggered back. Impossible. She was the office now turned against her. Making false claims is slander. This was a critical meeting. Your paranoia is the problem, not Sienna. Who would want to work under you after this? Even the partner company employees muttered in agreement. Julian's expression darkened as he faced the impossible chaos surrounding them. I let a single perfect tear streak down my cheek. All these years, you really suspected me? Why call me a friend then? This isn't friendship. Even her fans hesitated. She had never faced anyone standing up to her like this. Her eyes fell on my earrings, a glittering symbol of my victory. I held her gaze, defiant, pushing her further over the edge. Voices against her grew louder. Finally, Claire lunged at me, clawing at my clothes. Stop pretending, Sienna. It was you. I should have made sure you never went to college. And there it was, the confession I had waited for. I gasped in my what do you mean? You were the one who reported me. You ruined my scholarship. Her panic was instant. Julian recognized the look immediately. Guilt he had never imagined. I pressed the advantage. I didn't even know Julian back then. A few thousand meant everything to me. I could have ended up in a factory, losing a finger for all I knew. My colleagues formed a protective circle ready to defend me. So being rich gives you the right to bully others. You failed before, so now you're trying again. We may be corporate drones, but we know right from wrong. Claire fumbled to end her live stream, but it was too late. The clip had gone viral. Julian stepped forward, voice low and final. Is it true? Cornered, humiliated, she confessed. Yes, I reported her. So what? You left her chocolate. You were in love with her. He gave a single final look of disappointment. Claire, he said coldly. We're done. She froze knowing this was real. Years of broken up and back again cycles ended here. His patience was gone. I had targeted that very trait, the limit of his tolerance, and now finally it had snapped. Of course, their families were equals in social standing, and their engagement was tied to business alliances. Ending things wouldn't be simple. That was exactly why I had orchestrated the confrontation in public. I forced him to weigh his options and make a choice. He chose to end it. That was all I had wanted for someone like Claire whose world revolved around him. The words hit like a guillotine. She shook her head, desperately appealing to the family angle. No, our families are perfect together. You can't just. Julian's resolve was unshakable. I'll handle my family, he said calmly, each word final. Claire's face went pale. She tried to feign a faint. A last-ditch effort to manipulate him. Julian, unflinching, summoned an ambulance and called her parents. Her act dissolved instantly. Clawing at him, sobbing, she pleaded. Julian, I'm sorry. I'll stop. We don't have to break up. Let's just go home. He removed her grip with a look colder than any words could be. Yes, the princess has finally crashed. Our girl is free. That man has patience for days. Someone get him a beagle or something. Congrats, Sienna. Now grab that golden opportunity. Claire did everything to regain control. She faked illnesses, played the victim, even got arrested for drunk driving. But Julian never wavered. Reconciliation was impossible. Her social media schemes backfired spectacularly. Stories of her cruelty toward classmates and employees went viral. Clips of her declaring that people like me were born to carry her bags circulated endlessly. Her accounts were shut down, her extravagant lifestyle locked away. She vowed revenge, but the world was too busy watching her unravel. Even Julian's family, initially upset about the broken engagement, let the matter drop after seeing the reports. A few days later, Julian found me at the office, hesitant but sincere. None of this was your fault. If anything, we owe you an apology for putting you through all that. I accepted graciously, letting go of the pretense of reconciliation. Later, he called after me. Sienna, you don't need to avoid me at work. There's nothing to hide. Your proposal was sharper than mine. Let's focus on making this project succeed. I met his gaze. Okay. He had no idea I had engineered every step to bring about exactly this moment. From then on, we worked openly together. I solved problems, fixed mistakes, and kept projects on track. Julian's gaze shifted from mere appreciation to curiosity. When a man gets curious about a woman, he's already halfway gone. If someone like Sienna worked with me every day, I'd fall fast too. Watch her rise to HQ. She's going to grab that fortune. The project wrapped successfully. Julian returned to headquarters, and I followed. At his farewell, I feigned casual ignorance. Goodbye, Julian. It was great working with you. He smirked confidently. We'll see each other again. And of course, we would at corporate HQ. He raised an eyebrow at me. I pretended surprise. You knew all along. He smiled. My new team was missing one crucial person. That person is you. Welcome aboard. Claire's hatred reached a new peak when she realized I was at HQ working with Julian every day. Her anonymous attacks multiplied, but I was unfazed, flaunting my new life. Gallery openings, charity events, dinners, always accompanied by Julian. Her last desperate threats vanished after her parents intervened and sent her abroad for schooling. 2 years later, Julian and I were married. It felt like a natural progression. My career spoke for itself, and while his parents had initial reservations about my background, my abilities won their respect. He discovered fishing, spending hours by the water. Perfectly content, I dove into my career, rising from the student Claire once scorned to executive vice president of the Thorn Corporation. The diamond earrings were no longer symbols. They were just accessories. Elmo Sienna turned him into a fisherman. Once hooked, ambition disappears. So cliché, but she's playing the game smartly. Why shouldn't she leverage him? Men climb on others to get ahead. Why can't a woman? Sienna is sitting on a billion-dollar fortune. Love, that's irrelevant. Step on men to get what you want. Cold, calculated, unstoppable. I lifted my eyes to the phantom messages scrolling before me. A slow smile spreading across my face. Oh, I will. I didn't love Julian. I never cared if he loved me. What I loved was the power behind him, the wealth, the influence, the network his family had built over generations. And soon, very soon, the Thorn Corporation would be mine.